The Odyssey had a purpose. Good evening. The Arcane Detective here. Today's case file is on Outis, the 12th sinner of the Limbus Company bus department. Gender is female, age is unknown, and height is 177 centimeters or 5'10". Outis's uniform is distinct from the other sinners, being a short formal coat instead of the regular long coat of Limbus Company. The standard red tie of Limbus Company has a gold tie clip on it. Outis also has 2 gold earrings, and wears her sword on her left side. Another accessory that Outis wears is a watch that does not work, as noted by Honglu and Dante. The icon of Outis is a watch with a horse head on it, and on the sides of the watch, it has written in Greek, "I have a family, they had theirs." Personality report from Limbus Company is the following. This sinner could serve as an excellent advisor depending on your capability. However, she has a meddlesome tendency, so it is recommended to keep her satisfied with short replies of agreement. She is an expert when it comes to tactics and various pearls of wisdom about life, making her advice all the more valuable for your mission. In addition, she possesses a vast knowledge of workshop technologies. You could trust her with simple repairs of the bus. Notice, unlike the other sinners, accessing records pertaining to the past of this sinner is not permitted. Warning: keep an eye on this sinner, and beware that she does not exercise her cunning intellect for purposes other than completing our company's mission. Outis has a strict and commanding personality, as Dante has to refrain himself from kneeling when meeting her. Outis also has little to no regard for the other sinners, often chastising them for their behavior, even going so far as to say that Sinclair should be dismissed for his perceived cowardice. At first, the only good relationship Outis had with any of the sinners was with Dante. Though good is a strong word, as Outis is very sycophantic towards Dante, even going so far as to stick up for Dante against Virgilius. Outis is so steadfast to Dante, in fact, that he tells him at one point that perhaps the journey can be done with one sinner. Over time, Outis has softened a little bit to the other sinners, and has an understanding with Ismail, albeit after the events of the Great Lake. As the personality report says, Outis is an expert in tactics and often tells the sinners when to prepare for combat. Outis is also very quick to give orders, sometimes to Dante's chagrin, and takes a captain's position as seen on the Great Lake. Outis, in fact, seems to have a great deal of knowledge about the laws of the lake, almost comparable to Ishmael's knowledge. In combat, without the use of identities, Outis uses a corpus, a type of Greek sword. Written on the blade itself is Outis, which means nobody. The blade does have a gun-firing mechanism. However, it is only used in Outis's base ego. Outis's history is very unclear, though there are a few facts known. The first is that Outis is a smoke war veteran, being able to pinpoint the exact day during the smoke war when going through Gregor's memories. However, it is not known which side Outis fought for. What is known is that Outis had to kill many of her subordinates during the war. This is seen in how Outis tells Dante that she knows a painless way to kill someone, and saying with great sadness that the technique got much use in the smoke war before Mercy killing Effie. Outis also during the Smoke War, worked with the engineering corps, which is probably where her workshop knowledge came from. This is demonstrated in Outis helping out the Molar Boatworks crew in upgrading Mephistopheles. Outis was recruited by Faust and was the 12th person to be so, being the second to last sinner to join Limbus Company, after Sinclair, but before Gregor. There is much speculation surrounding Outis, from her history to her intentions at Limbus Company. One of the first theories about her history is that Outis might have been part of some kind of medical department. This idea stems from Outis's base ego, to pathos mythos, which means suffering becomes experience, or learning through suffering. In the base ego, Outis wears a long coat with a caduceus on the sleeve. The caduceus is often associated with the medical field, so perhaps Outis worked in the medical corps for a wing. It is also associated with Hermes, the god of many things, but among them he is the god of speed and trade. And since Outis has a pocket watch in To Pathos Myos, Outis may have played a logistical part in the Smoke War, or had something to do with trains, considering how Outis's pocket watch is similar to a train conductor's pocket watch. Another notable speculation is that Outis might have been related to Dias and served her in the Smoke War as part of the Ujat. However, this is just based on their physical appearance, and, in all likelihood, is most likely untrue. There is also some speculation that Outis is going to betray Dante and/or Limbus Company. This idea is taken from the Blade lineage identity, in which Outis states how she killed her master in order to progress, meaning that Outis is capable of betraying someone if they prove to be an obstacle to her goals. The last speculation is that Outis was a former member of the Head, specifically an arbiter of Acor. Outis has 2 gold rings in her ear, and they are eerily similar to the earrings that Xena and Bina have. It is also known that A-Corp is quite possessive of their former employees, and a history with A-Corp would explain the warning shown in the personality report. Outis also likes black tea, as shown through her 7 association identity, and considering that Bina has a love of black tea, perhaps they knew each other in the past. There is also a connection to where Outis's name comes from, the Odyssey, in which Odysseus and his men are captured by a Cyclops named Polyphemus. After the Cyclops eats some of his men, Odysseus tricks the Cyclops into believing that he is Outis, which means nobody. After Odysseus leaves the island and tells Polyphemus his real name, Polyphemus calls upon his father, Poseidon, to curse Odysseus. And since Cyclops are known for their one eye, the parallel comes from the fact that the Head has an organization called the Eye. Beholders work for the Eye, by extension the Head, and have been seen working together with arbiters and claws. So, Outis might have roused the anger of a beholder and had to leave A-Corp. This is, however, speculation and has yet to be confirmed.